Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. Biden declares January 9 mourning day for Jimmy Carter. Nigeria receives World Bank's $1.5 billion loan for subsidy removal and tax reforms. Presidency reacts to El-Rufai's accusation of Yoruba agenda, and the Senate hints at possible delay in 2025 budget approval. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The World News at 12 begins outside the shores of Nigeria, where United States President Joe Biden on Sunday declared January 9 a national day of mourning for Jimmy Carter, calling on all Americans to visit their places of worship to pay homage to the late U.S. leader. Jimmy Carter, a Democrat, became president in January 1977 after defeating incumbent Republican President Gerald Ford in the 1976 election. Carter ran for re-election in 1980 but was swept from office in a landslide as voters embraced the Republican challenger Ronald Reagan. The former actor and the California governor, Jimmy Carter, lived longer than any U.S. president, and after leaving the White House, earned a reputation as a committed humanitarian. He was widely seen as a better former president than he was a president, a status he readily acknowledged. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is awake and in good condition following a successful prostate removal surgery, according to a statement from his office late on Sunday evening. The procedure was performed at Hadassah Medical Center in Jerusalem, and the premier has been moved to a fortified underground recovery ward. Netanyahu is expected to remain under observation for several days in the specialized recovery ward due to heightened security concerns amid ongoing regional tensions. During the operation, Justice Minister Yariv Levin temporarily assumed the role of acting prime minister, while Defense Minister Israel Katz was authorized to convene the security cabinet if necessary. Netanyahu has faced several health issues in recent years, including surgery for a hernia in March, the installation of a pacemaker last year, and a hospital visit due to dehydration. Despite these challenges, he has sought to maintain an image of vitality, boasting of his ability to work 18-hour days during his ongoing corruption trial. The Prime Minister's trial, where he faces charges of fraud, breach of trust and bribery, is set to resume on January 6, 2025. His defense lawyer requested the postponement of upcoming hearings due to his recovery. Netanyahu denies the charges, claiming they are part of a politically motivated campaign against him. In a recent development, the Washington-based World Bank has disbursed $1.5 billion foreign loan to Nigeria as part of the federal government's efforts to implement fuel subsidy removal and tax reforms. This is according to the World Bank's recent document on the progress of the loan. VOP News gathered that the loan had been spearheaded as part of the reforms for economic stabilization to enable transformation development policy financing initiative in 6 months. The document showed that the loan was approved on June 13, 2024, with the first tranche of $750 million disbursed on July 2, 2024, while the latest disbursement was done in November. Accordingly, the second tranche disbursement was done to the fulfillment of specific economic reform conditions and was disbursed in November 2024. Consequently, this brought the total disbursement from the World Bank to Nigeria to about $1.88 million, representing less than 1% of the total approved $750 million for the AMO project. Further details indicated that the $1.5 billion loan disbursed to Nigeria was structured into 2 tranches with different maturity periods. According to the World Bank, Nigeria surpassed the conditions for the loan approval with the implementation of sweeping reforms such as subsidy removal, exchange rate harmonization, and tax policies. You will recall that in October 2024, the federal government submitted a tax reform bill to the National Assembly for passage, which had generated months-long controversies over its impact and opposition by northern Nigerian leaders. In the meantime, the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has reacted to United States-based Nigerian professor of journalism Farouk Gberogi's allegations of ethnic favoritism in President Bola Tinubu's appointment. Professor Gberogi, in an article titled "Tinubu's Buharization of the NNPC," accused the president of appointing Yoruba people to key positions at the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL). According to him, an anonymous source had claimed that a certain Bayo Ojulari is being proposed post as the group managing director of the NNPCL after the expiration of Melekiari's term. Professor Kwara also noted that he drew attention to ex-President Muhammadu Buhari's lopsided appointment in favor of the North during his tenure. Reacting to the article on X, El-Rufai said two wrongs do not make a right, referring to Buhari's bias for Northerners in his appointments. The former Kaduna State governor, however, advocated for sensible inclusion over what he described as arrogant exclusion. But reacting to El-Rufai's post, President Bola Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, accused the former Kaduna State governor of taking a cheap shot at the president. Also, irked by El-Rufai's comment, former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani berated the ex-governor over his silence when Buhari appointed his kinsmen into political offices. Former presidential aide Reno Omokri has also refuted the allegations dissecting the composition of key federal appointments, particularly within the NNPCL, to debunk claims of ethnic favoritism. The Nigerian Senate has announced that the passage of the 49.7 trillion naira budget for the 2025 fiscal year may not be possible before January 31. The development was made known by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, while speaking to journalists in Abuja. According to him, the budget defense by ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government will commence on January 7. He also stated that the joint committees of the House of Representatives and Senate on Appropriations will present the final report of the budget on January 31. The appropriation bill, which was presented by President Bola Tinubu to a joint session of the National Assembly on December 18, has already scaled second reading at both chambers of the National Assembly. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC in Zamfara State, Dr. Sani Sani, has called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently address the escalating security threat posed by the notorious bandit leader Bello Turji. Speaking to journalists in Guzau, the Zamfara State capital, Shinkafi expressed grave concern over Turji's latest threat to turn towns and villages in Sokoto and Zamfara State into ghost communities if his demands are not met. The alarm was raised following the release of a video by Turji where he boldly challenged security agencies to release his ally Bako Werge, who was recently apprehended by security operatives at the Shinkafi General Hospital. Werge reportedly injured when he had confrontations with some other bandit groups in the Mania area and was taken to Shinkafi General Hospital, where he was subsequently arrested by the troops of Operation Fansanyama. In the 5-minute video, Turji warned that he would render towns and villages in Shinkafi, Zumi, Zamfara State and Isa in Sokoto State uninhabitable if his demands were ignored. Reacting to the threat, Shinkafi has called on President Bola Tinubu to treat the situation with utmost urgency. Addressing newsmen in Guzau, former chairman of Zamfara State Committee on Banditry-related offences stressed the need for a swift and coordinated response to neutralize the growing security risk posed by Turji and his gang. The Zamfara-based politician urged security agencies to take Turji's threats seriously, stressing that failure to act decisively could lead to devastating consequences for communities in the region. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break and return with the news analysis segment. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're now going to the news analysis segment, and for that I have Mr. Peter Anoski. He's a political, social and national affairs analyst. Welcome to the World News at 12 and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Now, I want to refer to the very last line in the news article on the Zamfara-based politician urging the federal government to actually come to the aid of the northern communities as Bello Turji has threatened to wreak havoc on Zamfara and Sokoto State. He said he urged security agencies to take Bello's threats seriously, saying that the failure to act could lead to devastating consequences for communities in the region. When he says take his threats seriously, is that to say that security agencies have not been taking his threats seriously? Because he's always brazenly making videos referring to the military and talking like he's invincible and cannot be caught.
Well, something that they was doing, but a state is not supposed to be cowed or intimidated by a non-state the security. agencies because this is not a conventional war. He can make good what he said, that it is high time the security agencies bring him to book because he is not invincible. He doesn't operate in the air. He lives within this country and can be bring to book if there's political will to do so.
Just yesterday, someone who supplied or someone who acted as a link between those who supply ammunition to him to make sure he gets this ammunition was arrested. One of his, would we call her an accomplice, was arrested right there in Zamfara state. And also many times security agencies have apprehended his allies. Why is it so difficult to get him in particular? Because if you get Bello Turji, his camp might split.
Well, one thing is that he might be getting information from security agencies because there's corruption in the system too. Some people in the security might have sympathy for him and may be giving him advance information. It happens. Then the community where he is residing, two things there. Maybe they are afraid of exposing his hideout, or they are in sympathy with the cause that he is pursuing, assuming he is pursuing any cause.
When you say assuming he is pursuing any cause, are you saying he's not pursuing any cause?
Bandits are not pursuing causes, but terrorists are pursuing an agenda, a philosophy, or something. Just like Boko Haram say, to hell with anything Western. Understand? They hate Western education, but they are using a Western gun. Understand me?
But the temerity to actually come out releasing videos and threatening Nigeria's security agencies, oftentimes, right? Recently, there was the case of a lady who reported and the son of the president and was picked up by the police based off of his social media post, right? It was the same social media post through which Dele Farotimi was promoting his book when he had the issue of defamation with Sir Afeba Balola. We have had so many cases of people being picked up from what they post on social media, not just what they post on social media, but through getting their locations and just tracking them through social media. Why has it been so difficult to track these bandits through the same means? Especially since they come online, they come on TikTok, they go live. And when they say live, it's right now we're streaming on YouTube and we're streaming live, which means whatever we're doing right here, anybody can watch it from anywhere in the world in real time. So these bandits go on live with their mobile devices in real time. They will share money. People will send bank account numbers to them. They will even send money to those people as giveaways. So we have a situation whereby the climate seems so welcoming to them that they are so brazen and have thrown all caution to the wind, and yet they cannot be apprehended.
It is far easier to pick people in the south than in the north.
When you say in the north, would it be very difficult to pick a northern activist because the Take It Back movement coordinator in Kano State was picked up?
What I mean is this: he was picked up because he is in the city. The woman that was picked up here and was taken to Abuja was because he is in the city. Understand me?
Wait, so if a Nigerian activist lives in a northern village, they would not be picked up?
That mass in the north is so vast. That is the only reason. The Nigeria is about 930,000, understand, square kilometers. North is about 630. Understand? So the land mass is too vast. That's why it's not always easy to pick them up there.
All right, then let's move on to other issues in the world news at 12 this afternoon. I want to go ahead and talk about the issue of Nigeria receiving the $1.5 billion loan from the World Bank. This is following the subsidy removal and other tax reforms following the tax reform bill proposed by the president in October. Now, from the report I gathered and the little research that I conducted, right, there's been a first tranche of disbursement. Now, the second tranche of the disbursement of this loan, the first tranche was about $750 million. Then another $750 million has just been disbursed to make it $1.5 billion. That is seen that from this report, the tone is given Nigeria was promised this loan if certain things are done. And these certain things are the removal of a fuel subsidy and other economic reforms, right? And also the introduction of a tax reform bill. Also, another place I want to point out is that this $750 million credit from the World Bank features a 12-year maturity. So we'll have to pay this in 12 years, right? And then we also have another one that has a 24-year repayment period, which means Nigeria may be in debt for a very long time. Is this actually helping Nigerians or pushing us further into economic quagmire?
The issue is this: any child born in Nigeria right now is in debt of 560,000 naira. Any child born in Nigeria right now is in debt of 560,000 naira. So everybody in Nigeria is in debt of what he did not know how that money is used. So children who will be born next tomorrow, are already in debt. And the reforms that you are talking about is what made fuel to be selling at 1,000 naira as we speak. It is the reform that made the rice to be selling over 120,000 naira as we speak. It is the reform that made exchange rate to be now hovering between 1,500 and 1,700. This is the reforms that Tinubu made. At Maza this morning, buses to the east were charging 72,000 naira at Maza this morning. Understand? So this is part of the reforms that has put people into hell, reforms that is punishing people, reforms that has brought a hunger, frustration, and so on and so forth. This is what we are still going to pay. Is it that the federal government did not know that this is what it would lead to if these reforms were followed? Because first up, we had removal of fuel subsidy, which came on the day of inauguration, May 29, 2023, followed closely by the flotation of the naira, and we've seen how high the exchange rate has gone. Then we have this tax reform bill before the National Assembly. Excuse me, that word flotation is a deception. It is the valuation of the naira. That is what they did, the valuation of the naira. And that's why your naira cannot buy you anything more in the market. It is that devaluation which they quoted with fluctuation that had made rice to be selling at 120,000 naira. Some families couldn't cook rice this Xmas. And this is the reforms that Tinubu is boasting to have brought to this country. So these reforms come, Nigerians are impoverished, and then the World Bank pumps $1.5 billion into the Nigerian economy for diverse reasons. Will this money trickle down to the common Nigerian? It will go where the other borrowing has been. Understand me? They are where these monies are going to. This one will also go there. But what would be the interest of the World Bank or the IMF, like you've always accused of being the ones to propose these policies? What would be their interest if Nigerians are impoverished? Well, they always want to have a hold on countries. They always want to have a hold on countries. That's why when a country takes loan and they did not do anything, World Bank will not ask for accountability. They will still give another one. So this is a way of you remaining under their remaining under the hands of the World Bank, under their apron. But is the federal government and any other emerging African economy which actually agrees to these
these kind of to these kind of exchanges. You make these policies, and I pump this kind of money into your economy. Are you saying that they usually do not know the outcome? Aren't there precedents that one could look back at and be like, I see how this has disrupted so country, and I don't want this in my own country?
Well, the president of the head of state of Burkina Faso, Traore, rejected the IMF loan, rejected IMF money. He said, "Go to hell with your money. I want to develop my country with the resources within our country." And today, Mali is doing extremely well, economic wise. Mali, that I'm talking of Burkina Faso. Mali is now debt free, because they rejected IMF and the World Bank. No country in the world has developed with IMF, World Bank loans, because they come with conditions that kills the people. They come with conditions that, imagine an organization telling you, before we give you this loan, you have to remove a subsidy from energy, you have to cut social security. Understand me?
So it's as if reducing the people's purchasing power, and then now are pumping money into the economy, which is why I asked the question, how will the effects of the granting of these loans trickle down to the average Nigerian and help them out? Because if you used to buy fuel at 200 naira, now you have to buy it at 1,000 naira, a little bit less or a little bit more, and then you say, oh, the World Bank has disbursed money. How does that help you to actually have a better life?
It doesn't help the common man on the street. It just helps those in government.
So within 18 months, we had the introduction of 2 different policies and one in the works in order to have this money disbursed. So even though the tax reform bills has been facing different controversies and controversial conversations with different perspective from people in different regions of the country, it is after that was proposed, it looks like the Nigerian government is saying, oh, we fulfilled our own end of the deal. Where is the money?
That's the thing, because before it was given, there were conditions that you must meet to qualify for it, which is killing your own people.
How do you say killing your own people? It is the fuel subsidy removal, the devaluation of the naira, and now the introduction of the tax reform bill.
What are they? What has the devaluation of the currency cost? People bought rice at 120,000 naira in December. Understand me? People are paying over 70,000 naira to the east. So what is the benefit? How has that benefited you? So that's why I say IMF conditions is to impoverish your people, to keep them poor. Understand? So no good leader can accept these conditions. Especially
when you look at the time range for payment of these loans, the 12-year maturity, 24-year repayment period. Doesn't that mean that Nigeria will be in debt for a very long time, looking at the amount of our domestic and foreign debt already?
We will be there even in the next 50 years. Even in the next 50 years. So it's not what is going to end today or tomorrow.
All right, I want to move away from this particular conversation and talk about former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai accusing President Tinubu of a urbanization agenda, or what he called Buharization. That is, that the president is behaving like his predecessor when he in the appointment of his ministers and the people who work with him. Right. And now looking at this, the presidency has said that is not true, and that El-Rufai is just trying to stoke tensions. Also, Reno Mokri has said that is not true, and the former Kaduna State Senator Sani is saying the same thing. Would you agree with what former governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai is saying, especially that is in the NNPC? This whole conversation came up because a professor of journalism, Farouk Perogi, who is based in the diaspora, wrote about it. Right now, not just that, but when you look at the composition of the NNPCL, there there's actually a mix, right? I have a list in front of me from the non-executive board chairman to the group CEO. The chief financial officer is from the southwest. The non-executive board chairman is from the southwest. Melekari is from the northeast. We have a non-executive director from the south-south, another from the northeast. We have someone from the north-central, northwest, southeast, south-south. We have someone else from south-south, south-south again, north-central. How is there a urbanization in the NNPCL appointment when you don't even have so many people from the southwest there?
Well, if the bone of contention is NNPCL, I can say it might not be true. But if it's the urbanization of appointments in Nigeria, whoever said that it is a lie, Satan has more hope of repentance than that person, because it is true. It is true. Look at the economy. The Yorubas are 100% in charge of it. Understand? From the
How so? What particular areas would you point out to and say that is actually how it is right there?
Very good. Where is the governor of the CBN from? Where is the Minister of Finance from? Where is the Accountant General of the Federation from? Where is the Auditor General of the Federation from? Where is the Minister of Justice from? Where is the IG of Police from? Where is the head of MPA from?
But these are just a few out of
this is the economy.
So many appointments.
This is the economy. This is the economy. This is where the money that is coming from the Niger Delta are shared. This is where it is shared. This is the bulk. This is where the money from the Niger Delta is shared. Understand me? It is the Yoruba that is holding this as we speak. So whoever saying that it is not true, Satan has more hope of repentance than him or her. So what El-Rufai said
So
is...
wait, anyone debunking what El-Rufai is saying is the one who's a liar, even though El-Rufai is talking mainly about the NNPCL. And because he had reports of maybe someone else who's Yoruba may be appointed after Melekari's tenure runs out. I said
the economy. Economy is what I'm talking about, which is the back bench that's of this country. What El-Rufai said is that two wrongs does not make a right. That Buhari made that mistake, and Tinubu is also making the same mistake. This is my argument. So, and it is true. But you don't have to. What I'm trying to say, the only thing is, El-Rufai was Buhari's right-hand man. So when Buhari was making those appointments, he did not complain because it favored him. He's a Fulani, and it was a Fulani people that were in government. But
so the hypocrisy here is him not raising the same alarm when Buhari was in power.
When Buhari did that, understand me? So that's the problem. But what Buhari did, Tinubu has taken it to another. Understand me? He made worse what Buhari did. But as he said, two wrongs does not make a right.
All right. After all of this has been pointed out, and the president has said that he has trust in his cabinet, they are efficient, and he knew why he picked all of them, would you expect that all of this would touch him to say, okay, let's diversify the portfolio or the ethnicity or region of the people who have been appointed to different positions? For
me, everybody in Tinubu's cabinet are just average people.
Nobody stands out for you.
There's no A-list person in his cabinet. I want anybody to prove me wrong. And I was highly disappointed during that media chat when he asked them, mention any of my ministers that is not doing well. So the journalists there are just a bunch of disappointments.
You cannot say that. Okay? You cannot say that. We have got to the end of the news analysis segment. Please, you cannot say that so that we do not, because you are sure they have their reasons for keeping quiet or for not saying anything, right? If you were there, you probably would have had something to say, and your opinion is your opinion, but do not use such strong terms. Anyway, our time is fast spent, and we have to go. Thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 12.
Thank you for having me.
You have been listening to World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, we'll take a look at the top stories again. You heard that Biden has declared January 9 as a mourning day for former President Jimmy Carter. Nigeria receives a World Bank $1.5 billion loan for subsidy removal and tax reforms. President Siri reacts to El-Rufai's accusation of Yoruba agenda, and the Senate hints at possible delay in 2025 budget approval. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903 FM for coverage of your live events and brand news mentioned in our news bulletins. Do send email to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening.